All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Triple R Supercars Car Talk. I'm your host, Liz.
And I'm Eddie. You should know me by now. And on our show today, we have this lovely gentleman. His name's Will. Will, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
So
to talk about stuff.
Me and Will go back quite some time. I want to say 2014, 2015 range.
Probably like 2013, I would want to say. Because it was when I know we raced when I had my red coupe.
I'm drawing a blank. What red coupe?
My red V coupe. I had a red manual coupe and we raced in the you had a GTR.
Really?
Yeah. I won't say where, but we raced.
Yeah. At the drag strip. I remember now.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you have the WRX?
I didn't have a WRX. What do you mean? All right.
Back up. Rewind.
Yeah.
This is the wrong Will.
No. So I've had so many cars that I think I'm at 30 since I was 18.
Oh my gosh.
So
good numbers.
Yeah.
And it all started with a 2006 Nissan Sentra Spec V.
Okay. That's a good car.
And that was when I lived in Destin, Florida, and this is 2008 or whatever. So I just got back from Iraq and had a lot of money to spend. I spent every single dime.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was like a great car. And I remember being out in Pensacola going to the car meets down there and having this little Nissan that I thought was awesome until I met the people that had the Evos and the WRXs and the STIs. And, there's the Evos are starting to come alive over there. And they're like these monstrous Evos that were making back then was like 600, 700, 800 horsepower. And we're like, wow, that's fast.
Yeah.
And now we got 600 horsepower cars out front. And nobody cares about them.
No.
It's whatever. But you probably saw me with a BMW. That's what you might think.
I do remember a BMW.
Yeah. So I had a white 335i that it was twin turbo until I got a FF Tech single turbo, and I did that in a garage and by myself on 4 jack stands. Yeah. So it was interesting. It was fun. I mean, learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things just by doing them.
Yeah.
And just kept going. And I actually sold that car after I met my wife. So I met my wife in that car.
Really?
It was a random way to meet somebody. So I met her because I used to ride motorcycles too.
Okay.
And she got a motorcycle and I messaged her. I knew her through a friend and I messaged her. I was like, hey, you want to go for a ride sometime? She lived in Georgia. And she was like, yeah. I'm like, yes. So I drove down to, we met up in, I think Charleston.
Okay.
Yeah. And we went and saw Interstellar. So that's like our favorite movie, Interstellar.
It's a good movie.
It's a big brain movie.
Yeah.
Makes people's head hurt sometimes.
Smart people movie.
Yes.
I think I fell asleep during it.
Come on.
I'm just kidding. It's a good movie.
No. It's a great movie. So we went and we watched that movie. We had the typical American date. Went to the movie theaters, went to a rifle range, bought a gun on the spot, like in South Carolina. You could buy a rifle right there, shoot it, and then drive away with it.
That's
America, right? So I had that car, and we hung out, and then 2 months later, we were basically married. And
2 months.
Hey, you
slid into those DMs real hard.
You just got to do it. Just got to do it.
What are you talking about? That was us.
Hey, I'm just saying. If you know, don't waste time. It's not. I met so many people that live with somebody for 7 years, and they're like, I don't know if it's time. It's like, bro, you're basically married.
No, we moved fast too. After 2 months, I was moving states to go be with him. I'm like,
I mean, that's what she did. She moved from Georgia up to live with me. We got a house. I sold my BMW. I cried.
And the rest is history.
I pretty much. I lost I don't know. My turbo kit alone was 10 grand.
Yeah.
Oh.
I sold the car for 13. So I shed a tear. But then I started on the V, the
V train,
the CTS V train.
You fell in love with the V.
Yeah. So now everybody that's out on sideshows with CTS Vs, the V2s, Yeah. So we started off with, the thing was that she wanted a black V2 coupe.
Yeah.
And we drove up to Virginia and we scandaled somebody out of it for 30 G's.
Dang.
Okay.
That was in 2015.
I
Now,
remember I remember the 2-door.
so now a V2 coupe still runs 25 grand.
Yeah.
And that's 13 years later.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
No, not 13. I'm sorry. That's 8 years later. Um,
I'm bad at math, dude. I'm not judging.
we're not doing math right now.
I was just nodding my head.
We're talking. We're not doing math. So she bought her coupe, and I was like, "Well, I want mine." So, we went and got a manual V2
Nice.
coupe, and then we started on the train. And then I sold the red coupe and got a silver sedan, and then sold the silver sedan, got a few Corvettes, then got a black sedan, and then got a wagon, and then now got a V3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been.
You've had like every configuration of the cat.
We've had a few, and I mean it's mainly because we lived right next to Rick Crawford. So like, I don't know if you know who Rick Crawford is. He's kind of like the LS magician on the East Coast, and he does great tuning.
Yeah.
So, and if you can get a hold of him, that's 95% of the battle. The other 5% is paying him. Because I mean, stuff ain't cheap no more. So
Yeah, no, dude.
you know. But the dude's been great to us. He like secretly tried to tune. Well, he secretly tuned my wife's black coupe. So we went to Florida on a trip, and she dropped off her car at his house. He took it to the track, built it, raced it, and I got a message from one of our friends, Travis Odom. He's like, "Hey, your wife's car is at the track." I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just ran a 10.4." I'm like, "What?"
That's awesome.
It's pretty good.
It ran a 10.4 with a jacked up injectors and a pulley, and that was it.
Dang, we need to get your wife on the show.
My wife is a character.
Yeah, she sounds fun.
She's a character. So
Did y'all ever race each other?
yes.
Yeah.
So we raced each other. We've raced each other a lot. We raced each other in Fayetteville drag strip, and we raced each other in Myrtle Beach drag strip during Mustang week.
Nice.
Her and I, she got into the car community with me, and like we were like two peas in a pod. We were always out in car meets till like I was telling her earlier, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We had the drag strip until like 1 o'clock in the morning, just racing. And I raced her. She beat me a few times, and that's
Nice.
cool. And
That's
all.
right.
Very good. Bravo.
Yeah.
I like to hear that.
We have some pictures of it and videos of it. We were racing out in Myrtle Beach, and because we went to Mustang Week. No. This was F-Body Week. And so we went out there, and F-Body Week, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's usually F-Body is like Camaros, Firebirds, stuff like that. So we went out there, and we had a good amount of people with us that came over there. A lot of CTSVs and like some Camaros and some whatever. And we tried to go to this car show, and they're like, "Your cars are not classy enough for this car show."
What?
So we're like, "Okay, fine, no problem. We're gonna go across the street at the mall and park there and hang out." So like I said, we had a 01, we had I think it was a Cobra, an 03 Cobra, a Terminator, a yellow Banana Z06, a few CTSVs, and we just parked there. And then everybody started coming to us and hanging out with us. The car show called the cops on us and kicked us out of the whole place. Like, we got kicked out. So we drove to Hooters, and we ended up having our own car show at Hooters in Myrtle Beach.
That's cool.
That's probably better
So,
anyway.
well, yeah, it was because, like, I mean, I don't like Hooters. The food tastes gross. And sometimes it's not really Hooters.
I haven't been there in a few years. Like 10 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it. I mean, it's just whatever. But this is not sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. So, but yeah, we got kicked out of F-Body Week, and we also got kicked out of Dankfest over in Myrtle Beach.
Dankfest.
So Dankfest, you ever heard of this place?
I mean, I know that.
I've heard of it.
Oh, I'm thinking of a donk. Never mind. Go ahead. Tell
No,
me
so
about it.
Dankfest is like the Stance Nation type of car show, I guess. You know, like
I do not follow Stance Nation.
Broken control arms and
Yeah,
I was in Stance Nation like before I met you, so I'm like
Okay.
familiar with this.
oh, so you know what Dankfest is?
I'm familiar with it. Like I used to go to like Import Alliance a lot.
It's kind of like Import
Yeah.
Alliance. So I don't have a problem with Import Alliance. I went to Import Alliance in Charlotte,
okay.
and it was awesome. It was a good time. Dankfest is weird, to say the least. So like we went to Dankfest and we were out there and we were chilling. You know, we had 4 CTSVs over there.
Yeah.
I had my dog, and we were partying. You know, we were having a good time. We went there. We got invited to go inside and park inside. We were parked inside.
Oh, that's good.
And you know, it was my fully built silver sedan and my wife's black coupe.
Mhm.
And they were like, "You can't have that dog in here." I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go outside and have a good time with my dog because I love my
Yeah.
dog." So that's like my child. So we're outside, and you know, somebody was, I think it was like RX-7 that was parked behind us. It was a drift RX-7. So right, track car.
Yeah.
Tire marks all over it.
Yeah.
Rubber tire marks all over it. Whatever. And somebody was like, "Hey, you should do a burnout." And you know, me being the freedom loving American that I am,
Yeah.
I obliged.
Yeah.
I gave them the people's burnout. So
Gave the people what they wanted.
yeah, you gotta give them what they want. Give the kids what they want. So I gave them a burnout, and the person that owns the RX-7 drift car behind me was like, "Hey, you got rubber all over my car, bro." I'm thinking to myself like, RX-7 drift car, rubber, whatever.
Yeah.
And you got all pissy, right? So somehow all the cops in the land come. And this is a private event, you know? So I'm like, all right. So I'm talking to the cops, and the cops like, "Hey, come over here. I need to give you a breathalyzer." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Breathalyzer?
Yeah, because we're partying,
What?
right? We're partying.
Okay.
So it gives
Okay.
me a breathalyzer. Pass, flying colors, because I'm not drunk.
And
I
'cause you're
haven't-
American.
yeah, exactly. I haven't been
You're
drinking.
hanging out with your dog.
Exactly. Hanging out with my dog. So the cop's like, "You're good, man. Just don't do it again."
Yeah.
So didn't do it again, but Dankfest officially banned us from
Hey.
their events. I shed a
Aw.
tear and then wiped it and said, "That's all right.
Moved on.
I don't need Dankfest. I got a Amerifest." So
Your car is not a Stance car.
No.
it was. So I had bigs and littles, so it was Stan's car, but it wasn't their type of Stan's car. You know, I appreciate the bigs and littles better than Stance with broken control arms and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Severe cambered.
Yeah.
I mean, that was your people. So me, I'm just, you know, now I just got a little car with some wheels and whatever. It ain't big a deal.
Some wheels.
Hey, those whoever it was that sold that V3 with some avant-garde carbon wheels, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. I'm happy.
They're good looking wheels.
Yeah, they do look good.
Yeah, they're cool. My wife doesn't like driving the car because she's afraid if she curbs it.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But I don't care because I didn't pay for them.
Just put some Sharpie on it and say, "I don't know,
I
babe."
don't think that's how carbon fiber works,
Yeah.
but you know, if it did, then whatever. I'm not. It's not like I don't care. Before, when I was younger, I'd care if like somebody, you know, dented something. My car, my daughter's hit my car before, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh well.
So it's kind of a relief to already get a car or a truck, like my truck down there, and it already has flaws in it.
Yeah.
So that if something were to happen,
Yeah.
you're not like, oh, it's the first one, and you get all freaked out. So you don't have to worry about people parking next to you or the shopping carts whenever you go get groceries or whatever.
No, I still worry. I get new dents all the time. I'm like, what the crap?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when we got my wife's new Suburban, like that's the newest car we've ever had because it's for her and we needed it to travel around. But it has like 0 flaws in it, so that sucks. But like my car, the V is cool because I mean it's not like perfect, and it's not $1 million car, but it's our car and we pay for it, so we take care of it. I don't park outside.
Other than the wheels, anything else done to it?
So I didn't finagle. I kind of broke him a deal because this guy was selling his car, so I gave him my stock exhaust for his full bore exhaust.
Okay.
And yeah, so I, you know, it was like $1,000, and I gave him my stock stuff.
That's cool.
and then just intake. But really, I've had too many built cars, like canned out cars, and I like to take care of my cars. So like, I don't need it anymore. It's not like I'm racing at the track no more, and mainly I'm just like, I like looking at it or whatever. It's a nice car. People compliment the Suburban more than they do with the V. Yeah, like I've had so many people ask me about the truck more than the freaking V, and maybe because they don't know what the V is, but they're like, "Hey man, nice." They stop my wife and they're like, "Hey, nice truck," and I'm just like, no one cares about me.
Oh, I like your car. It stopped me going up the steps.
Yeah,
but I don't think you need a lot to make a daily fun anymore.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because like I also owned a '67 Nova.
Oh, I remember that one.
And that was like, well, that wasn't even raced out. That was just a '67 Nova that some old dude in Virginia. I sold it to my friend though. I pulled the motor out because we were gonna go to Cars and Coffee in it. I just finished putting EFI in it. We are gonna go to Cars and Coffee, and I go over. I'm driving, and all of a sudden it stops running, and ended up being that the MSD box blew. $200 piece.
Yeah.
And I was telling my wife, I was like, if this is the MSD box that blew, I'm pulling this motor today, and I'm selling the motor and selling the car. It was an MSD box. I pulled that motor out and I sold it the next day, and then I sold the roller to my buddy over in where is he at? Arizona now. So I sold that, and I took the money. I bought a '64 Nova wagon, and that was that cherry red wagon that was tubbed out and dragged out. So that was really fun. We missed that car, but you know, whatever.
That was a cool car.
That's how I ended up with the black V wagon, and that was cool too.
I think we all have cars we miss. I had a Porsche Cayman S. I really miss it. I had it less than a year.
I thought about buying one of those.
Yeah,
but like
fun.
it was so difficult. The bang for buck, right? So like, I really wanted a Porsche, but then because I remember you having a Porsche too.
Yes.
But like my dream Porsche is like a 911.
Mine's a GT3 RS.
Yes.
So beautiful.
So my buddy just got one, a blue one.
Yeah.
And I think he paid $130 something for it.
Okay.
And that's a good amount of money. That's
good pinch.
Yeah. I mean, for anything, I don't care what it is. That's just money.
Yeah. It's a house.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, that's a house. Yeah. So like, so when I retire out, like, when I retire to go work again, I guess you could say.
Retire from your first career.
Yeah. Retire from my first job. I already talked to my wife, and she's kind of like, as long as my job lets me, it's either a Porsche, an R8, or a new Corvette.
Oh, those are all three completely different vehicles.
A Porsche,
right?
What type of Porsche?
911 GT3.
GT3 or GT3 RS?
GT3.
Okay, GT3.
I vote for the
C8.
Porsche.
A C8.
Or an R8.
But R8 V10.
R8. Okay, yeah.
Not a V8 one.
Roger.
So,
whenever people say R8, they're all talking about the V10s. Like no one. Honestly,
well, nobody knows. Like, I guess some people don't know that there's a V8 version and a V10 version.
Actually, I didn't know for a while until I think he said something. I was like, oh, I thought they were all V10s.
Yeah, or a Viper, a 5th gen Viper. Now that
those are nice.
And I got a buddy, Shane Hines, that has one, and he's a tuner out in, not the East Coast.
Okay.
And he has a white Viper that he says is like amazing. So, and he likes Audis too and whatnot. But so I talked to him a lot. He actually tuned one of my Corvettes that I had. I had a red Corvette, and he tuned it. And that thing was awesome. I bought it in the Keys.
Yeah.
And it was a great car. Just a little too sketchy for me. So like,
was it a C5?
C6, Z06.
Okay. That was sketchy.
So I don't know if have you been inside a C6?
Yes. My buddy Chad let me drive his.
So C6s, if they are done correctly, they are monsters. They will freaking haul ass on everything. I don't care what it is, because the power to weight ratio on it is incredible.
Yeah.
So like, I got a buddy, I won't say his name, but he knows who he is. He works around here.
Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah,
to you.
So he's a ZR1 guy. You've probably met him before.
I have someone in mind right now.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's a maniac in Corvettes, and I've raced him before when he had the ZR. I raced him at the track, and when he had a ZR1, and it was in my Silver V. And his was stock and mine was built, and it kept up for a little bit. But Corvettes are nasty machines.
Yeah.
Especially if you got like a heads cam and intake one. Mm-hmm. The red one that I had was like a head cam intake one, and it was pretty nuts. So it was great and all, but it's a go-kart. It's just a go-kart.
Really?
Yeah. The control on it, I can handle a 900 horsepower V2 better than I can handle a 700 horsepower Z06 C6. They're just crazy.
There's a gentleman, I think his something last name Cole. He had a silver C606, and I remember on the highway, his back end would like kind of like fish like this.
Yeah.
And it was kind of sketchy looking.
Yeah.
Whenever he like romped into it and took off like this.
If you don't know how to hold it or let off, you're in for a ride. I'm telling you, man, like even with like because naturally they have humongous tires, and even when you put sticky drag radials on them, sometimes if you don't know how to take care of it, you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
And I've seen plenty of people lose the car. But yeah, I mean, dude, me and Corvettes, I went and tried to go buy a Corvette in, I think it was Michigan. And I flew up from Melbourne and went to go buy. I had a check in my hand and everything for this Corvette Z06 head cams intake one. And I went there. Dude picked me up from the airport in the Corvette, and I was gonna drive it back down to Melbourne from Michigan. And I told the guy we're getting on the highway, and this is probably like November timeframe. And I'm like, hey, can you just do a little pull on it just to make sure it's not spitting or missing anything like that? And the dude drops. We're in third. I'm just sitting in the passenger seat. He drops from third to first and hits it. Mm-hmm. Lo and behold, 360 in the middle of the highway. 360 in the highway, hits a food truck.
What?
The food truck explodes. Like the back of the food truck, all I saw was paper cups and napkins go everywhere.
Jeez.
The car is obliterated. We're facing the opposite way on the highway.
Oh my
There's a semi truck coming, and like somehow we end up on the ditch.
Oh man.
And I'm sitting there. I call my wife. I'm like, babe, I'm on my way home. Or no, I told her, I was like, I'm not getting in the car. And she's like, what do you mean? What happened? I was like, we were just in a car accident. She's like, what?
God.
So she buys me a plane ticket, and I get to the airport, and I'm waiting for my flight. I'm at the bar. I'm like, can I get 2 shots of whiskey? She's like, what just happened? What happened? And I'm like, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So she's like, what happened? And I'm like, I was just in a car accident. And she's like, oh my God. So I go, and because like I'm still feeling like I don't feel pain yet.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting and waiting to get on board. And I go up to the lady at the desk, and she's like, how are you doing? I'm like, I was just in a car accident. She's like, I'm sorry, baby. And she puts me on first class.
Nice.
Oh,
So
nice.
I get on first class, and I get more free alcohol. And I'm flying on the way down.
That's the cheat code.
I know. And
Yeah.
you tell everybody, I was in a car accident.
I mean, my face looked like I was in a car accident.
I can do that.
So, and my wife, she's like, I'm so sorry. So she pulls up to the airport with a case of like Dragon's Milk beer. You ever had that?
No.
It's like 11.6% dark,
we need to
dark
try
coffee
that.
beer.
I'm interested.
And she's like, you've had a rough time. So she gives me some beer, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go home now. So like, I was so bummed out. And the next week we bought that red Z06 in Key West, which that was a long ass drive. So
yeah, Key West to here?
No. It was from Melbourne to Key West, which
It's still a long drive.
either way, it was unbearably long. We just had a newborn.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, maybe she was like 5 months, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that was not the coolest trip. It was turn and burn.
Oh, and you're low on sleep from having a newborn.
Well, kind of. I mean, my first kid was nice.
Yeah.
Good.
My second kid's nice too.
Yeah.
She's kind of a terrorist, but that's all right.
But still nice. A nice terrorist.
She's nice, everyone. But yeah, I mean, man, that was I'm good for buying cars now. I'm good for a little bit.
Get that out of your system.
Yeah, I don't think I want to sell anything anytime soon. So, the next car I'm gonna save, and hopefully my wife keeps her word. Well, I don't know. Maybe she'll be like, just buy something else and not a 2-door.
Yeah.
Because like I've always wanted something cool that's 2-door.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you got something that's 2-door, and so do you.
They're not cool though, but go on.
I mean, I guess Lambos are not cool anymore.
Our dailies are 4-door, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever.
You guys have is a Suburban, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
these are nice.
You have a 4-door, a mini bus, and then you can hop into something like 2-door.
Yeah, I mean, like I've looked at everything, and I'm just like dreaming right now, right? Because I still got a few months before I can dip out. And as long as I can find a cool job down there, that I mean, I don't care about money really. It's just if it's cool and I can afford it.
Yeah.
Because obviously my children are gonna bleed me dry. I mean, until I mean, they're pretty cool. They're pretty content with everything. She just asked me for another puppy today, so.
You know they're gonna be into cars.
My daughters are into cars.
It's expensive.
My daughter, when she was like 6 months old, she was at Cadillac Attack in Orlando.
Really?
Yeah. Like when she was born, I picked her up in an 800 horsepower Cadillac. So like the nurses were like, no shit. It was like it was a cammed out Caddy, and the nurses were like, "What's going on?" And I was just like, it's Corsa straight, like no CADs, Corsa exhaust, just cammed out.
Your wife's like, "That's Daddy with the Caddy."
I mean, that's who we were. Our neighbors knew us as those people.
Yeah.
It's funny before, like when we lived in Fayetteville, like I would leave to go to work at like 5 o'clock in the morning when I used to actually work. So a straight piped cammed Caddy turning on at 5 a.m. is. So I feel bad for people now. Well, I don't feel bad anymore. I'm just not going to call the cops on them because like I used to be that guy. But
really,
yeah, man. We kind of have to be free at one point in our lives.
Yeah.
We're pretty lucky. We have like one neighbor, and he'll just be like, "Man, that Lamborghini sounds like a turbine engine," and he's like excited, and he like comes over and asks more questions. But I don't think he ever complains about the noise.
You're gonna give your neighbors a heart attack. This is a retirement community out there.
It is.
Jeez.
Hey, I heard you telling her something about at the drag strip, you stopped going because people started bringing weapons.
So we used to go to the drag strip a lot. And the drag strip used to be a family-friendly event.
Yes.
Especially on Sundays. I remember when we used to go, we would park our cars up to the fence, and some of our friends would have trucks and like would be in the tailgate chilling. And it would be great. It would be so much fun. And now it's gotten so bad that like I've heard of stories of people bringing like full-blown rifles to the actual line, and threatening people at the line because it's gambling out there. It's crazy gambling. And Fayetteville is a hood. Like if people don't know, Fayetteville is a hood, but if you've been here long enough and you know who to talk to and who not to talk to, you'll be good.
Don't talk to the guys with the rifles.
Well, I mean, like it's
probably a good rule to have.
It's more of like I remember a dude that like I was pulling my car up to the line. He was on his bike and like he wasn't paying attention. Obviously, motorcycle people, they don't like to pay attention to cars.
True.
And I was like, "Hey, my bad, bro. Like you almost got hit by a car." And this dude comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, bro, I've been to prison for murder. I'll go back." I'm like, "All right." I'm like,
it's pretty aggressive.
Cool. And I mean, I think I've ran into the guy before, and like we run into people all the time that they're like, "Hey, remember me?" I'm like, "Yes."
So it's a small place.
Fayetteville is a very small place.
It is.
Like it is. Yeah. You'll meet people. I've had people in Florida tell me like, "Hey, we used to go to the track together in Fayetteville." I'm like, nice.
Well, that's part of being around a military town.
Yeah, I mean,
I do remember being in the pits of the Fayetteville drag strip. They were racing dirt bikes on the drag strip.
Dude, we at one point in time the people will drive off the track when it rains so hard. We are out there with brooms and drying the track off.
Yeah.
I mean, like, everything's happened at that track. I've been going there since I was like 23, I think. So I'm old now. So I mean, like,
he's like thinking back.
I mean, it's been a hot minute. I raced. I had a Civic that I raced there before, a cammed Civic Si. So that must have been 2010 when I was racing there.
Oh man.
Yeah, because I didn't buy that until then. So I've raced my BMW there. I've raced all my V's there. I've raced motorcycles there.
What's your fastest pass?
So, like, I'm a baby and I don't like breaking my car. So, especially in Fayetteville, their shutdown is real small. But the fastest I've gone my V I was just off of idle like 10.5, 10.4.
That's good.
Yeah.
And that was just in a cammed V2 with 93 octane. And that was really it. Good. So, I mean, and that was on an 18-inch, what was that? 18-inch rim with a 305. So, I mean, that drag radial, nothing crazy. And Rick Crawford always told us to launch off idle and you'll get a good 60 foot. So I think a 60 foot was like 1.5 on that car.
That's good.
Which, I mean, people have done faster, but like I said, I don't pour tons of money into my cars, and you know, they're good for what they were. I'm not a street car racer. I'm not on Discovery Channel. So I'm more of like, hey, this thing go fast, and that's about it. And then do some random burnouts on my way into my driveway.
Or at car shows.
Yes. Well, not anymore because
you don't want to get kicked out.
Well, tires are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Truth be told, a set of drag radials will set you back probably 500 to 600 bones. So, like, I'm good. I don't like to impress dudes with burnouts, and I'm married, so like I'm not trying to impress a 22-year-old with a burnout.
Yeah. She's already impressed though. Your wife.
She's impressed with my ability to. I don't know.
She's impressed with you. That's all that matters.
I gotta ask her when I get home. Like, what impresses you?
She's gonna watch this video. She's gonna pause it.
She will. She'll be like, "You're dumb." Or I always mess with her. Like, I'll randomly like just send her a message like, "Why don't you love me?" She's just like, "You're so stupid."
Same.
So I don't know. It's fun. I was telling her, I was like, man, I hope people don't think I'm an asshole because like I sometimes don't want to hang out with anybody just because I'm so used to hanging out with her and my kids and like whatever. It's easy. But we just got into F1 racing.
Ooh.
So that is our thing that we do now, especially when it comes on. So it's fun. We didn't know about it until like probably 2 years ago.
Are they I'm sorry if I'm not up to speed on this, but are they electric or running turbos?
So F1, they got hybrid systems now. They're still I'm pretty sure they're 6-cylinder. Pretty sure 6-cylinder turbo with a hybrid pack on it from what I'm tracking. I hope I'm right or somebody's gonna scold me from freaking
somebody will pause this video, Google it, put it in the comments.
I mean, but they still make like 1,000 horsepower. So but it's all aerodynamics and stuff. Everybody wants them to go back to the V10s or V12s
because of the sound.
Yes, because it sounds like Lord's trumpets. But they're fast. I mean, like it's cool to see what makes it fast and its aerodynamics. And as soon as something breaks, then they lose 1 second, and 1 second means the race. So
absolutely,
it's cool. I mean, it's interesting. I wish it would kind of be like the Le Mans races that we have down here, like Garage 55's Camaro that they just came out with. That's ridiculous. I don't know if you saw that, but
I saw that racing in Le Mans. Sounds good.
Well, I think it's just hilarious that like a lot of Europeans were like, "Oh, that's funny. Americans think that they could race with our cars," and then they had to bump the Garage 55 car up because they didn't want it to look like all the other cars are so fast, so slow. So I thought that was funny. I'm a Camaro guy too.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, my brother-in-law has a Camaro and I put a Pro Charger on it. So, he was like, I think they wanted to charge him like $8,000 to install it.
Really?
And I was just like, bring it to my house and I'll just drop it off and I'll put it on. And it was fun. I did it.
Yeah.
And car runs. It's like as fast as a stock CTSV, I guess. So
that's nice.
It's kind of fun for a car. But now he's like, I want a cam. I'm like, you're gonna have to wait till I move down to Florida now.
He's like, how about that free labor again?
I mean, I like it. I sometimes I do free labor just to learn, or not to learn necessarily like on a guinea pig, but like it's a hobby.
Yeah.
And like I tried to kind of do what you're doing, like work on other people's stuff, but then it just turns into like a chore, and I don't want to do that.
It can be stressful at times.
It can be
with like time limits. Yeah.
Like time consuming with a lot of different things happening all at once, especially if you have multiple projects.
Yeah.
Especially when our cars aren't running, haven't been running for a while. So like, it can stack up on you, but we're working on our time schedule and our timeline. So
yeah,
I think it's still very interesting and entertaining to do all these cars and do all these projects. So, it still has my interest. So I'm still glad to do it.
Yeah, we're just busy. You need to like call us like at least 4 weeks in advance and plan something.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I used to, and it started in the BMW world because I would do installs on like stuff like turbos or downpipes or whatever, and that was easy and stuff. But then it started getting, because when people they bring their car and something breaks when you're trying to put something else in, or a bolt snaps, and you're like, oh my God, here we go. So, I was doing stuff for people over here. I even got to the point where like people were coming to my house and like, hey, can you install this exhaust on my truck? I'm like, yeah, that's no problem. That's fine. And I'd charge them like cheap labor. I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah.
But then dudes were like, can you do a cam install for me? And I'm like, I don't want to. I really don't. Like, I don't even want to do one on my car. So usually I'll drop my car off at Rick Crawford and he'll do everything. But now I'm all right. So
I've never done a cam before. So how labor intensive is it?
It depends on the motor. So Chevy motor is just a single cam, right? So you could do it the ratchet way of just like, super ghetto way where, you can make it happen without doing all the work, or you can tear everything apart and do the cam the correct way. I would have to do it the correct way because, Lord, if somebody finds out you did it the sloppy way on their car, and then they'll get all pissy, how everybody gets.
What's the sloppy way?
The sloppy way is relieving all the springs on all the pressure on the springs, throwing some wooden rods in the holes and holding up the rockers. The lifters so they don't drop inside the pistons, and sliding that cam out and sliding one right back in, and buttoning everything back up and not looking at stuff, not changing out the oil pump, and a sloppy way. It can be done, and people do it all the time, but
Is this DIY on YouTube or?
Yes, it is. So, there is sloppy stuff on YouTube.
Go look it up. Sloppy cam install.
I promise
it's
you,
just easy cam install.
No, you're gonna have to look at sloppy because it's bad. But for Mustangs and stuff, I don't think it's that easy. I don't touch Mustangs, but whatever. I did an exhaust on a Mach 1, or no, a 350. It was my friend's 350.
350s are nice.
They're nice. It sounded really nice too after I did it. But in order to cut that exhaust, because 350s are weird, in order to cut the exhaust to install this other exhaust, you have to cut right next to the fuel tank. So something about cutting stuff next to a fuel tank doesn't really, it's not cool.
Angle grinder or?
No, I was using a saw.
Okay.
So
can go poke up.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you don't have a lot of room. They're like, okay, so you could, and it's all like clamped together in certain ways. So like, I'm on jack stands, because I'm sloppy. No, I don't have a lift, so whatever. I was doing it for a friend, and the way it just dangles is like you're sawing, and it's like one false move, and you're covered in fuel, which is not the best. So
with those exhausts, you have to cut what's on there now, remove the section towards the back, towards the tips, and then install the new ones with like a slip-on attachment.
yeah. So a lot of new exhaust, even the Borla that's on my V, is you got to mod your standing exhaust and just like either
why does it not go all the way from the tips to the catalytic converters?
So Borla is one of those. I mean, I get sued by Borla, but Borla is a California freaking, I guess, compliant exhaust that you have to keep your secondary cats, right?
Oh.
And so in order to do that, instead of them supplying you with new catalytic converters, they just have you saw, and then either weld or slip on to the previous stuff. You have to have correct measurements, and then it's all good.
Okay.
So
see what
it's a pain in the ass, but it's just to cover their, because of EPA,
Yeah.
And then Stainless Works actually had like all their exhaust now is, has to be compliant too, I guess, from what I saw.
I'm not familiar with Stainless Works.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. They're really nice, but they got a notification, I guess, from what I'm understanding, that all their new stuff has to be compliant with environmental. So
yeah, they're shutting down drag strips over this.
Yeah, they don't like freedom.
Like Texas 2K, I believe. Drag strip down.
I didn't know that that's what they were for, what they got shut down for. But I guess, I mean, shoot, I know that they're trying to something with like, what's that dude down in Bradenton? Leroy, god dang, what's that?
Cletus?
Yeah, Cletus. So he has a drag strip down there, and I guess he went to not court, but to their council meetings, because I guess they were trying to build a housing development right next to his world of fun down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was like, "This place is literally here, and you're gonna say that you're trying to build houses right next to it?
Yeah.
When you're gonna complain about the noise of this place after."
Yeah.
So that was like, I guess, a year ago or a few months ago or something. So the dude's wild. I just saw a video of him. He's like flying planes with his son. He got his pilot's license.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
I'm like, I don't know. He's on top of the world. So
did anyone do anything with that the old NASCAR track next to Rockingham Raceway? Did anybody do anything with that? Did anybody purchase that?
I think it's still there. I think they still use it.
Oh,
the
NASCAR?
Rock? Yeah. The one in Rockingham?
Yeah.
I think they still use it. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't been out there in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close, but it's still far enough that I won't get out of bed for it. So, but yeah, I mean, even the one, the dirt track around here is still going. So, and I think Fayetteville, they're trying to fix it up. Somebody just bought it again or something, or leased it again or something. I don't know, but
the Rockingham Raceway, they have some good meets out there, or good events. I believe it was last year. Hector from Fast and Furious, was coming. Was a host for one of the shows.
Yeah, I've been out there for a few races. I raced that's the first time I raced my black sedan out there.
This one here?
No. My 2012 sedan.
Oh, okay.
When I bought it and I went out there and I raced it, raced a few times, and it was fun. And we had a car meet out there too. So, yeah, we've been out there a little bit, but we stopped because, I mean, it was pretty far, and then like driving all the way back here at like 3 o'clock in the morning is not fun. So
yeah,
I get sleepies.
Yeah, it is kind of a far drive, but you ever like stayed the night there at a drag strip during the event?
No, because I like to sleep in my own bed. Now my buddy, one of my friends, Wally, he raced one of his V's out there, and he won it one year. I think it was a streetcar takeover out there or something. I don't know what it was, but he won heavyweight out there. But he slept there overnight in his car. I was like, "Nah, I'm good.
In the car.
I'm straight,
No.
man. My car is not fast, and like everybody will be faster than me. I'm straight.
It's not worth it.
I'll buy my own little trophy.
I did some
We'll give you a trophy.
I did an airport event. I think 2 of them in Germany.
Oh,
and they would camp on the airstrip, and they would do their drag racing into the night.
Dang.
And they had these awnings or some kind of framing system where you had to drive through this port before you get to the tree. It was really decorative. And I'm pulling up, and I had a Skyline R32 rear wheel drive turbo car. And as soon as I come through with this other car, they're like shooting fireballs into the sky.
I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen that.
They call it race wars out there. And
Isn't that trademarked out here?
I guess it is here. But
God dang, Hector is gonna come out of the work.
Yeah. It was a really big thing for them. They were like everybody in the audience is all fired up, like a legit Fast and Furious movie. And I'm like, it's not that serious.
Oh man, I had my daughter watching the first Fast and the Furious movie the other day.
Did she like it?
Yeah, she thought it was funny. So
funny. Oh,
well, she called me her driver because I drive her to school. So she's like, when we go to the garage, she's like, "Dad, are we taking the black car?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
She's like, "You're my driver." She tells all her teachers, "My dad goes fast." I'm like, "Shut up! Don't tell her that."
Where it tucks.
So yeah, she loves cars, and like I buy her Hot Wheels, or she tries to steal my Hot Wheels, but she's a little car girl.
Yeah.
You gonna take her on some tours or some rallies?
You should.
I don't know. I mean, Florida's more friendlier to like car shows. I mean, we go to Cars and Coffee, and it's always the same people, same stuff. So it's like, or like, we're walking through the parking lot, and I got a freaking Miata that has an exhaust coming out the hood, and it's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, all right, I get it, bro. It's loud in my ear. So, I mean, I get it. So, whatever. But I mean, we're waiting to get to Florida and like do some of the rallies are cool down there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Driving from Orlando to the beach side or something. I even thought about doing a rally here, driving from like wherever. I think so. I went to one in Virginia. You remember that one GTR video that the dude like crashes into a center and like flies?
Yes.
I was behind that car.
Really?
Oh, man.
Yes. I was in my BMW because that was in from Germantown. I think it was Germantown through Virginia. That's when I was at Fort Meade.
Huh.
And I went up there, and it was a GTR drive. That's what it was like called or whatever.
Yeah.
And we all met up, and we started driving, and like it was cool and all. And we're driving, and all of a sudden, like this dude just flies by us.
Yeah.
And we're like, crap. And we didn't see the turn, and he hits it, and he flies, and he's just like flying and lands in a bush, right?
Yeah.
And we all pull off behind him, and I run up to him. I'm like, bro, you okay? His car smells like freaking cologne because they just got flung everywhere. And I'm like, you okay? And he's like missing like side skirts and stuff. And I'm like, all right, no, just like leave. But that was a cool event. Besides that, I mean, we went through a lot of like little communities or whatever, like turns and whatnot. And we met up at a park, and somebody bought us all food, and it was cool. I mean,
I did a GTR run up there, and I know what road you're talking about because we ended up going that route.
Yeah.
And making a right turn onto that road that you're talking about, there was a GTR in front of me. He kind of fishtails a little bit, but he saves it on the entrance of this turn. And then we're going down this road, and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy!" I got that on video. And then we get to that little roundabout where the cars go all the way around, right? And that GTR took that airborne jump. As soon as I saw that roundabout, I was like, "Holy crap! That is where this was shot."
Yeah.
So I've been down that road, and GTR community, love the GTR community. My heart goes out to them, Magtron, everybody out there. I had a lot of great memories up there in Virginia. The people over there, Maryland, Virginia, the little Beltway, DC area, they do some pretty serious car events and racing and rallying.
I mean, I've gone to MPAC meets up there. It was fun.
The roads are good.
They treated me very nice, I guess.
There's a lot of twisties and turnies and like really nice windy roads, kind of like the Dragon, but not as good as the Dragon. But
yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, we have some nice roads out here too. Even on the way here, I was like, I should drop it to a different mode. But that's all. That's all I need. freaking wildebeest come out of the woodwork and just destroy the front end of my car. And I'll cry to my wife. But
yeah, that car out there is a keeper, and you get really lucky with those wheels.
yes,
Those wheels.
yeah. Hopefully, I don't get annoyed and sell it randomly.
No, don't do that.
I don't know. Whatever.
I'll be mad at you.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw you in my rearview mirror, I was like, "That's him."
I wasn't even paying attention.
And I took off to get to the house faster and get the car downloaded and get ready.
Yeah.
You coming? But it's your car has a lot of road presence, like the way the headlights are designed, and the hood, and just a flair to it on the wheels and the fenders. And it's a really wide, like
Yeah. As soon as
bulky-
the dealer told me that it was a performance data recorder car, I was like, Psh, I'm taking it. Don't worry about it, bro. I'll be right there. And because I got a good deal on it, so I was just like, Psh, I'll be right there.
looks comfortable
And
too.
Whatever.
Yeah, because it's not stock and it's harder for them to sell.
It's harder for them to sell my wagon than I sold them. So whatever. I don't care. I mean, whatever. So it's all good.
Yeah.
They got a good deal and I got an okay deal. So
I think once you retire here soon, which thank you for your service. I know it's not easy the longer the clock goes. What?
This guy.
What? America. Come on. Yeah, the longer you win, the more challenges you face, right? But you're you're right at the finish line. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
Checker light's there.
Yeah.
Um,
Spent my whole life as a person in the military. So
good. Builds character.
Yeah. Dude, I joined when I was 17 years old.
Really?
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
I turned 19, 20, and 21 in Iraq.
Oh,
Yeah. So
just hanging out there, having a good time,
good old time.
having some tea.
No. I don't drink that garbage. I was just doing my thing, you know.
Yeah.
It was interesting. So yeah.
I hope you treat yourself good with a nice retirement present.
Maybe a new car.
No, keep this car.
No, I didn't say get rid of this one.
Okay. Add to.
Add to
Yeah.
the
So,
current
like,
fleet.
I mean, I don't. There's a lot of things that. Yeah. I wanted to buy myself a new rifle for a retirement gift or a watch, but I think I'll just save up for a car for when I'm done working here in Fayetteville.
I'm interested to hear what kind of watch has your attention.
It was something that we were doing for work.
Okay.
It was a one-off type of deal.
Oh, okay.
It was like a Christopher Ward watch, not super fancy, but it was for work.
Nice.
And I don't know.
I think the car would bring you more joy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm super happy with my car. Maybe I'll just as a retirement gift, I'll just tune my car or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. I'm not rich, so
Maybe we'll gift you a pulley just to instigate and push you to go to the next step.
there's plenty of people that instigate me. So I just gotta keep my head together.
There's a guy going around town. He calls himself the Dig Angel. He has
a kill list.
Word has it is that he has this sheet of paper. It has names on it.
It's a book.
Oh, it's a book now.
Yeah.
You're right. It's called the Kill List. Have you heard of this kill list?
I've heard of this list.
Yeah.
Are you on
Is your
it?
name scriptured in ink on this kill list? Perhaps.
No, it is not.
He looked me in the eyes and said no, so I believe that he's
I
telling
believe
the
him.
truth.
I mean, there's no. I've definitely. I'm trying to think back. It was a pretty long time ago when me and him and I met up to.
Real sweet guy. He's a real angel.
He is an angel.
I've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
We've hung out before, and I talked to him recently too. And we
Okay.
meet up on the street all the time, like driving randomly. I was on the phone with my mom, and I was leaving work, and I saw him.
Like, go away, dude.
Oh well, I mean,
Yeah.
like I know him just because we've been. This place is so small. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that we knew around here, and my wife knows him too. And just he comes up. He wanted me to buy his Audi when I was selling my wagon
Okay.
because I wanted an RS7
Uh-huh.
because I thought they were cool. But now they look like Accords, Honda Accords
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
And it's really
Yeah.
weird. So, yeah.
I'm not too fan of the hatchback section.
No,
where
no.
You lift up the trunk and all the glass opens up.
Yeah. It was really weird. So,
But cool on the inside.
yeah, I mean they're nice inside, but like just I couldn't find one that was like in the right price range for
Yeah.
what it was. If they were like 50, 40, then they would be like 120,000 miles.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. So
Understandably.
That's when it gets expensive to maintain.
yeah, and it's all-wheel drive system.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like then I just kept looking at them and just like, I mean,
Understandably.
whatever. But
we hope the next time you're on this show, you have something else lurking in your garage or out in the driveway. So
Yeah, I'm voting for that Porsche GT3.
Yeah, sure, why not? I don't know.
It's a good retirement gift.
Who knows? We'll see what happens. But hopefully this next endeavor in my life, my job, will allow me to have some fun. And next time you guys are in Florida, because I'm definitely going to Florida.
oh yeah, we'll definitely be down your way.
Yeah, my parents live down there anyway, so we're
what part?
Clearwater.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm like Orlando, and I
that's not far.
Scatter around wherever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely gonna be down there. We'll see you down there.
I got buddy Ed, buddy Jason, buddy Derek.
We got a lot of people.
We know a lot of people in Florida. So like,
and we do rallies down there.
I think we should just host it. We should host an event down there.
We should.
And then like everyone's already gonna be in the area.
Hey, Cadillac Attack is pretty dope.
Cadillac Attack.
Yeah, I mean, it's fastest Cadillacs.
Yeah. In
the U.S. go down there. So, and then Vengeance is always down there. We know Vengeance too, and Rick Crawford and all those people. So, pretty good event.
I look forward to meeting these people.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know who Vengeance is. So, just a lot of people from out west, and a lot of fast cars, like 6-7 second cars. So,
nice.
It's a pretty good track too. Orlando's a beast. They always have huge events over there. So, yeah, come on down.
Sweet.
We'll be there starting June. So,
hey, Will, I appreciate you.
Sweet. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, if you could hit that like and subscribe button so that you stay up to date in all of our videos coming up, and keep an eye out in the future for Will to come back on the show with new stories and hopefully new car ownership. And
I got plenty of stories.
Okay. We'll have you back, man.
All right, sweet.
Y'all take care.